Good evening and welcome to another edition of Real Chat. I'm James Mackenzie. Today we have an exciting discussion on the talent show The X Factor. For the discussion we have Stephen Jackson and Kate Lines. We'll be speaking to them later on and getting their views on the show. But first we have the news with Stephen Jackson. Over to you.
Thanks James. Breaking news, a typhoon has ripped through a cemetery in Falkirk. Hundreds are feared dead in the disaster. A survivor of the disaster said it was the worst thing to happen to Falkirk since the Falkirk Wheel. In other news, a spokesperson for Strathclyde Police has stated that the man suspected of robbing a jewellery store in the East End of Glasgow said he couldn't have done it because he was busy breaking into a school in the south side at the same time. Police then arrested him for breaking into the school. In politics, David Cameron wins on the budget deficit reforms, but more lies ahead according to Labour opposition if the country is to be debt-free. However, the Prime Minister continues to lead at the polls, and many left-wing extremists believe Mr Cameron to be the second coming. In local news, survivors of a Siamese twins operation has now been joined with his parents. Little Tommy Jenkins was able to retain all vital organs and most of his right arm, but his brother Charlie was less fortunate with not having anything left in order to survive. We are told the parents are just grateful that they still have one child. Edinburgh Zoo has announced today that panda mating fails, so veterinarians has taken over in a bid to help the pandas mate before the rainy season. We at the studio wish the vets all the very best with giving the zoo some pandas, but now it's back to James.
Thanks Stephen. We're off for a short commercial break right now, but stay tuned for a fascinating discussion on the X Factor with our two guests, Stephen and Kate, when we come back. See you in a few minutes.
As soon as you spot a chip, we're here 24 hours a day, every day. Usually if you're fully comp, a repair's free and won't affect your no claims. Most insurers recommend Autoglass, so no need to call them. Contact us direct on 0800 222 333 or book online.
Autoglass repair, Autoglass replace.
It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It is the one that is the most adaptable to change.
Echoes, the brilliant new album from Will Young. Pre-order now.
You said you love me, I know it's true. My life's complete, dear, for now I have you.
Koala loves Cushell's cushiony softness.
You could also be part of the story in the RAF Reserves. Search online for RAF Reserves.
Introducing new Activia pouring yogurt. Delicious, nutritious, gorgeously silky. Breakfast will never be the same again.
Welcome back. It's now time for a discussion with Stephen and Kate here to discuss talent show The X Factor. First of all, Stephen, what is your view on The X Factor, and do you think it doesn't produce talent?
Well, I'd like to start off by saying I think that it does produce lots of great talent, and it's been running for, I believe, 8 years now or so, around that time, and it's over each year it's produced artist after artist after artist consistently, and what's a better test than time?
I agree. I think it does produce a lot of new talent, and I think it is beneficial for the music and pop scene, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but the X Factor isn't without its criticism, of course. One of the main points there being Jedward.
Damn you.
Do you have anything to comment on Jedward?
Well, Jedwards are a phenomenon, that's true, and the X Factor is a public show. You know, it is up to the public to decide who they want to be in it, and you know, they were kept on by public vote, and that's fair enough.
Doesn't mean they have talent, because the public view. I mean, you know, they just hear what they hear. You know, they don't know about the ins and outs of sort of what makes a good singer, what makes a singer have a good voice. And
what's your definition of talent? Perhaps they had talent in other areas of making the audience feel sick.
Maybe they just like their image. It could be just simply down to that.
Is that perhaps not a talent?
Well, I wouldn't have thought so. No, because they have makeup artists and they have, you know, people who do that for them.
Well,
that's not their talent. That's somebody else's talent.
The talent behind it was obviously the entertainment of Jedward, and people.
The X Factor
like
is
that.
primarily a singing talent show, though, and they had absolutely no singing talent whatsoever, to be honest. And it was the judges that put them through to the live shows.
Well, this really is Bash Stephen time. But Jedward, part of, I think we can agree that a singer's job is to produce a show. And Jedward did say words on stage and produce a show, which they did admirably. And, you know, the public lapped it up, and hence why they were such a big hit.
The public are easily manipulated.
That's not the matter we are discussing.
Well, it's linked because that's what the whole show's about, is about manipulating the public to vote for these people so that, you know, they can go on. I mean, what's the...
All right, guys, that's sadly all the time we have for today, but we'll be back tomorrow where we'll have our special guests Tom Selleck and Winona Ryder talking about their new movie. But until then, have a good afternoon and we'll see you next time on Real Chat. Goodbye from us.